So no matter what kind of martial arts school you're on, if it's a taekwondo school, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, whatever it is, you'll like always run into the same issue of kind of like you'll get to the point where you're just working all the time. Like you just can't seem to have any free time anymore, right? And you're like, well, this can't be. Like there are other school owners out there who actually have a lot of free time and they are more successful with their school than me, right? And it's kind of like the golden hamster wheel, so to speak. It's probably like that for every single entrepreneur, like not just for martial arts school owners, but this is what we're gonna focus on in this video. Um, because, and I'm just gonna give you the reason though, straight up. Like the reason for that, like why you don't have any free time or whatsoever, is because you don't have any good systems in place for everything for your entire school, basically, and because you're probably not working hard enough as well. Where you may be like, well, you're telling me I'm not working hard enough. No, I'm working like 80-hour weeks, whatever. Yeah, but then why is your school not growing? Like, why are you always stuck at the same amount of students almost, right? So it's kind of like, nah, really, are you then actually working hard? Now, you kind of want to get to the point where your entire school is like systemized rather, so to speak, right? Where you can just come to it and like your school doesn't need you anymore. Like it can completely run without you, and you can like sign up new students without you. It can basically do everything without you. With you having, if you want to, only spending like 4 hours on it per week, and your school would run like really successfully, and it would actually grow. Now, the hard part is though, to get to this point, you're probably going to have to put in like years of hard work, like genuinely like years of just like hard hours of work. But it is possible to get there. It's just hard. It also kind of depends like what's like the goal of your school, because if you only want to have like a one location school where you have like, I don't know, maybe 100 students and that's it, like you don't really want to get beyond that, right? Sure, maybe this video isn't for you. But if you're like actually like, nah, I actually want to have like multiple locations, maybe even franchise my school, whatever, then I'd say like stick around for this video. So but if I'm really honest, and like the more I think about this, there isn't like one like key thing that I can give you here right now to actually make this happen. Like it really just comes down to hard work. Like because your school needs to have like so you kind of need to see your school as like a collection of systems. So there's, for example, a system for getting new students, and inside of that system you have like a subsystem for getting leads, and inside of that you have a subsystem for I don't know, getting impressions on your ads, right? And if you zoom out, it's your school, and if you zoom in, it's the student acquisition process. So you kind of get the point, right? So there's your school's like this big collection of system. Another system would be the teaching the classes and stuff like that, right? So once someone like trains at your school regularly, like teaching them the class and actually getting them to stay with, for example, like doing, I don't know, like events every now and then and whatsoever, right? And so this is another system in it of itself. So it's like the teaching side of things, and then you have like your instructors for that, and inside of that you have like the hiring for the instructors, and all of that. This is like just every single part of your school is like a different system, so to speak. This is kind of how you have to see your school. There is a system for signing up new people. There's a system for when someone comes in for a trial class, etc., etc. And you basically have to like, there can be like probably hundreds of systems depending on how far you want to narrow that down, so to speak, right? But basically you have to build, as the school owner, you actually have to build out every single one of these systems. And you actually have to understand every single one of these systems like super good, so to speak, to put it simple. Like you have to be a fucking machine at these systems. Like you have to know them so fucking well. I know I'm repeating myself, but I can't stress this enough. But to build out all of these systems, that's gonna take time. Sure, you can build out some shitty systems probably in like a few months, but to actually build out like systems that always work, that's gonna be hard. And even then, you may have like even like issues in like one system or whatsoever, but you then just want to have like someone who works below you who takes care of whenever there's an issue, right? But for that, you have to understand the system so fucking well because you've built it out. Because even at like worst case scenario, you could still go ahead and do the things yourself on your school, kind of. At least to a certain extent, right? If you have like 10 locations, you can't really just go to every single location and teach like all of the class, whatever. But you kind of get the point, right? But to like again, to make it to this point, it's just gonna take like hours and years of hard work, right? So you have to figure out every single thing. But this is kind of the cool thing about like entrepreneurship and stuff like that. But if you do it successfully, you'll just get to the point where you don't have to spend like more than 4 hours per week on your school, and you can just focus your attention on, for example, like opening up new locations, whatever. And the cool thing is also, if you found like a system that actually works and it works for like one location or whatsoever, you can scale it. Like you can basically just open up new locations, that you can always like use the same system for each location, right? The same ads, the same everything basically. Now you'll still then run into like different issues that will happen when you scale, but it's a different story, right? Those are kind of the issues you want to get to. But there are always going to be problems in business. Like this is just how business works. But like I'm telling you, it is genuinely possible to get like out of this golden hamster wheel where you're making like a good amount of money, but you're just working all the time. It is possible to get out of it. But the only way, at least from what I know, is either you quit or you just like make less money, or you just actually build like great systems that actually make it possible for you to just take a step back and do this. And by the way, stick around with me here for a second. So there's this book, which I'd highly suggest you read. It's called Thinking in Systems by Donella H. Meadows. It's really, really good when it comes to actually talking like more depth about like what a system actually is and stuff like that. Because you may be like, yeah, I know what a system is, but trust me, read this book, you're not gonna regret it. It's gonna help you tremendously with your school. But again, the most important thing to remember basically out of this video, it is possible to get to this point, but it's just gonna take like years of hard work. I know this is a simple message from this video, but I still think it's super important that you hear this as a martial arts school owner. And if you have like any questions about this, let me know in the comments. If you want us to help you grow your school and get you more students, then click the first link in the description. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.